I was sitting here thinking, I'm having a Halloween hangover. But I hated to type that because then people will think I'd been drinking. No drinking. Halloween hangover is just more recuperating from Halloween with children. So for years, where we live, we have not had school the day after Halloween, which I would just like to say is the best thing on the planet. Well, now that Halloween was on a Monday, we didn't have school on Monday, which was great not to have school on a Monday because nobody wants to go to school on Monday. But holy cow, this morning, it was, well, it looks bright. It's deceivingly bright right now. A monsoon out here. I mean, a legit monsoon. Now it's stopped. Honor! The dog is upstairs. Anyway, I hope everybody had a good Halloween. For all the parents out there, oh my gosh, I mean, my leg. Honor! Come! Honor! There's the dog. All the parents out there who's like, joints ache from running down the street, I see you. So I have an almost 9-year-old with autism. Well, she's not up here. No. And this is how we roll in this house. This is stuff going in the attic. Yes, my husband is putting sleds in the attic and golf clubs. And he said if I bought another sled, that was my way to certain death. Oh, God. Halloween is real emotionally stressful for some people, including myself. Honor! Oh, God. So this morning... These are called Lego people. Oh, God. This is what happens when you've had kind of a big night and a lot of sugar, and then you have to get up and go to school. You throw a drawer of Lego people. There's some costume there. Just giving you a little taste of the aftermath of what it's like in this house. There's a cat. Oh, I'm not really making any sense. So anyway, last night we got on the costume and we couldn't get on shoes because shoes seem like too much. Amos's anxiety is a little bit up. Maybe that's Halloween. Maybe he needs a new dose of medicine. It's always, these are like the things you constantly wonder. But anyway, so we go out. He has on his SWAT team outfit. And come to find out, has no interest in candy, which I had no idea. And literally just wanted to talk to people and see the costumes. So we would drive the golf cart and go like a half a block. And we'd see a big cluster of people. And we'd stop and get out. Then he would run and like block them on the sidewalk. Like one of those like bully TV shows, like to teach children about bullying. And then would make each of them answer his question. What are you? Facebook hates me. I can't see the comments. I'm sure this video is not going to load because that's what's happening right now with like every other video I do. We had Halloween yesterday and my son's 9th birthday. Okay, well, that's like sudden death for me. Amos's birthday is next week. Is that right? Yeah, next week. Yes, Heather, it's anxiety. But, he got on his costume, which was great. And he talked to people. I don't think we've ever had a Halloween where he talked to people. So that was really fun, even if he more interrogated people than talked to them. It was still really nice. And then he wanted to be with the big kids. We did did you find Honor? Oh, she's around here somewhere. She's probably thinks she's in trouble because she tried to get his donut this morning. Honor, come. Come on. Oh, Honor, and you're wet, silly. Goodness gracious. Let's find you a towel. Hold on, don't rub on the chair. Yeah, I knew she wasn't lost. Let me get you a towel. I loved all the Halloween pics. Well, it really was fun. But we ended up at a friend's house with the teenagers and had dinner, and then he was like done. He was driving his 13-year-old sister bananas because he was running around in the haunted house where they were supposed to be scaring people, pulling off people's masks and asking what they were, because, that's what he does. Sorry, you're just getting a lot of views today. I'll use this towel. But I can't tell you how nice it was. One thing that was last night, and I guess a lot of people know Amos, maybe because I write about him, maybe because, come on, let's dry you off. Maybe because he's cute, but people were so friendly and accepting of him. And it made my night so much easier. I mean, I just cannot tell you how nice that was. I mean, it was really nice. Maybe it's got a timer show. He's talking much more clearly. At the surgeon's office, back surgery. Oh, gosh. Anyway, I just felt like people were not annoyed with him. They were like smiley and accepting, which I guess Halloween is like the perfect time to be like that. I mean, everybody's just sitting around in insane, costumes, but it just was really nice. It made me feel so appreciative of my community. Anyway, it was nice. Come here. Come. It was super nice. So I hope other people have that same experience. I didn't have anybody, questioning like, well, why did he not say trick or treat? Or why is that boy grabbing me to look at my costume? It just was nice. I think the tiniest things can make somebody feel loved. And do we do that? Do we go out in the day? I made a point of talking to a mom who was holding on to her son, who I kind of assumed might have autism because he was trying to run away. And she said, oh, he's deaf. And I said, oh, are y'all, we were just talking. And it's like when you're the mom of the child who doesn't, that's good, who doesn't blend in with everybody, I think you feel a little alone. And it's not embarrassing. It's humbling to belong to the person who is going against the stream of everybody else. All the other 8 and 9-year-olds, that's an age where your mom is probably with you, but how did Honor get wet? Because it was raining outside and she was rolling around in the grass. That's an age where you start wanting to trick or treat with your friends. So you're kind of with your mom, but you're not. And your kids are sort of saying, I want to go here. Probably my older boys at 9 probably honestly went without me down the street. Oh my God, we got the dog drinking and the cat like dry heave. Okay, do you need to go out? Let's not puke. Oh my God. But anyway, it just was really nice to not feel awkward, or it just felt nice to be included. And I didn't feel embarrassed. Everyone I know, they had the blue bucket because they liked it. Oh, none of them knew it was for special needs. I wrote a thing the other day, the whole blue bucket thing. Like I get, and some people might love it. So if there's some mom out there that is like, that blue bucket made my life easier, then cheers to you. But a blue bucket for me is like, what am I going to carry a blue bucket when we go out to dinner or go to the grocery store or when he goes to school? Like, we can't carry a bucket forever. At some point, we just have to expect the world to be kind. And whether you're dressed up in costumes, I mean, and I think my community, people learn and know, but it's like, think of it the other night, I had a baby, like a 2-year-old, and she thought I was her mom. Like her mom and I were talking, and she was, yay high up to about mid-thigh, and she wrapped her arm around my leg. And I knew in that moment, she thinks I'm her mom, right? Like she's got her hand on my leg. Well, I hadn't had anybody's hand around my leg, and I don't know if my children ever did that, but it was so nice. And I was like, that's how we should be, right? And with a toddler, we all want that. But when it's an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old or a 14-year-old, and they come up and say, what's your name? And they're not abiding by your space, like, welcoming that is just makes my life so much easier, because I'm dealing with teenagers who get embarrassed by Amos's behavior, and I need all the support I can get. I need friends who say it's okay and remark on how well he's doing, which I really got. And it was so nice. But that blue bucket, I mean, we just can't always carry a bucket. And I was carrying Amos's trick-or-treat bag because I couldn't find the freaking orange bucket. And then he kept calling it Mommy's bag. Like, put the candy in Mommy's bag. I'm like, oh my God, so now it's my bag. Like, people are going to think that I'm out to get candy. Though I did eat a couple Reese's peanut butter cups. Anyway, that's my thought. Stuart Smalley's thought for the day. That just appreciate y'all being, and I mean, honestly, I would say before Amos, I was probably like you. I probably would have been the person saying, nobody over 15 should be trick-or-treating. If you don't wear a costume, you can't have candy. Did you say trick-or-treat? I mean, I'm sure I was that person. I don't think I had time to do it because I don't think I got to be that person because I didn't have an opportunity. But holy cow, I'm not that person now. And I think I would be embarrassed if I had remembered myself being that person. You just never really know what's happening, And I do think we need to tell, because if I sit around and am not honest or don't tell, then how do you teach the world to be kinder, So we have to be willing to talk a little bit and share so that people can be kind. So my godson, who's Amos's age, we rode to school with us this morning. He said, was Amos scared of the haunted house? And I said, Amos, were you scared of the haunted house? He said, no, just like that. I said, no, he wasn't. He said, well, maybe they didn't scare him because he has autism. And I said, Ruffin, I honestly think you're right. They probably would have been nice, but he wasn't scared because he was pulling off everybody's mask and like looking under the blankets and the coffins. And then he said, the friends had on the same mask. Well, the friends were taking turns with the mask. So kudos for Ruffin and for us for talking about autism in a way and trying to understand Amos instead of like not talking about it and whispering and like, be nice to that little boy over there, but he's not really our friend. It's just so much better this way. So I have to be willing to suck up my pride a little bit and, drag along behind him trick-or-treating and talk to people that, he's haranguing over their costume. I mean, it's good for you. My daughter's autistic and not scared of anything. But Louise, like the dog barking, will like shoot his anxiety into outer space. I have only a 5-year-old. I made my 17-year-old neighbor go trick-or-treating. She was dressed up. I love seeing all the kids dressed up. Yeah, I think people, I mean, I really do see inclusion making momentum, at least where I live, in the last 15 years, personally. I really do. I see how much our community loves Amos and talks to Amos and welcomes him. And I hope it's not just Amos. I hope it's other kids with disabilities. And next holiday is Thanksgiving. Maybe you can carry a turkey. So I've seen the change personally. You know, I rarely go out in public and feel like I'm being watched. Even at like places like Target. I mean, generally, I feel like we're pretty included, which is so nice. So anyway, we learn something from every experience, good or bad, happy or sad. Yeah, we do learn. We do learn. And I think there's some people that are like, oh my gosh, she's such a whiner. Well, I'm not being a whiner. I'm just being honest. And we don't always like truth. I mean, truth can make us feel uncomfortable and sad or guilty, but truth is a good thing, you know? It's a good thing. It's the only way we ever make progress. Whether it's my own truth or somebody else's, you know, I need to hear that from other people. So anyway, autism and Halloween is a win. And if your mom whose child didn't put on their costume, didn't go outside, didn't hand out a piece of candy, has never said trick or treat, I see you too. And I'm sorry that you missed Halloween, because 4th of July has really been the holiday like that for us of I love 4th of July and like never being able to watch the fireworks. Or last night my husband had to leave and bring Amos home so that we could have dinner with the teenagers. And you know, you can have babysitters, but you can't always have a babysitter to plan on just like a fun families getting together. That's stuff that we miss out on, and we do miss out on it. Even with our best effort, because at some point Amos is ready to go home and he can't go home alone. So one of us has to leave, you know, and that's just okay. We take turns and we roll with it, but it's not ideal. It's not what we want. But shoot, I mean, life in general is not what we signed up for, is it? I like sometimes go back and think about the life that I thought I would have. I was going to have 3 children before I was, how old was I going to be? 28. 28. I'm 47, so that means I'd have like a 19-year-old now, somebody in college. I'm sure they'd be at Harvard. Maybe 2 more. And everything was going to be fine. I was going to live in this old southern mansion. Not living there. Thank you. It was a long night. Oh my God, Berkeley County Schools just has a 2-hour delay. If anybody has a 2-hour delay, a school system, I now have new respect for you. 2-hour delay after Halloween is like the best thing I've ever heard. Anyway, subscribers coming over to the dark side to talk to you as I pack and get ready to go to Richmond for work. We are isolated and say no so often. Invitations no one asks anymore. Oh, well, Rita, then we want to say to people, keep asking, keep inviting. If there's a family that has said no 1,000 times, know that they don't want to say no. Help them and say, how can we help you say yes? What can we do? Is it possible? Can we come to your house instead? I will say we've had a lot of things at our house, which is, you know, a pain in itself, but we want Amos included, and we don't want to miss on the fun. So we can't go as a family to watch football at somebody's house because it ain't going to work, but we can have people over here. In many states, inclusion is a joke. Children excluded, not permitted to eat lunch. You know, Stephanie, I think you're right. That does happen. And I think as families, particularly families like mine or people like me that can advocate and have an education in that area and can push, we have to do it. I also think you can do it and it doesn't have to be filled with strife. It can be a process over time where we have a lot of open communication and, again, being honest and upfront. You know, I share with our principal and our teachers, like, I have to share those hard truths with them of what it's like. And is Amos included at church? Because if you're not included at school, why does that teach kids at church, or vice versa? You know, school is one part of this Bronfenbrenner ecological, what's it called? The ecological systems theory. All these units that are connected. So anyway, it's a topic I'm really passionate about because it is super important, and knowing how many families feel excluded, I just really, really don't like that because I know how it feels. And there's nothing more lonely than being in your house on a holiday alone with a little person. It's lonely. Whether it's 4th of July for us is where I've, been sitting in my bed crying, or Halloween for some families. And it's not just about, bucking up and getting over it and moving on, but it's about saying, how do we really make sure people are included and encouraged? And I need to do a better job, honestly, and constantly including and having my children try to do a better job. Our guy is 46 now. He was a can of beer for Halloween this year. He went to a party with his friends. I know that song. Oh, Cindy, that's nice. Got to go to a party. It was a fun night. Okay, subscribers, I'm going to see you on the other side, and I hope this video uploads. Facebook is trying to torture me and make it so my videos seem live for days on end, which I did suggest to my husband. We could do a live for a weekend. He was like, oh my gosh, I'm not a Holderness. He's an attorney, not a blogger. Bye. Thanks.